Your name, your address, and your phone number are floating around the internet. Easy for strangers, scammers, and companies you've never heard of to find. Data brokers and shady databases collect and sell your private details to anyone willing to pay, putting you at risk of nonstop spam, scams, and fraud. You can't stop them from collecting data, but you can control who gets to keep it. That's why I use Incogni. They remove your private information from more than 420 of these sites automatically. And with their unlimited plan, you get total coverage. If you spot your personal details anywhere else online, just send them the link, and their privacy experts will get it taken down. It's the easiest, most complete way to protect yourself and personal life. Right now, you can lock in 60% off with my exclusive deal at privacykim.com. Go to privacykim.com right now and start protecting your privacy. This is so important. Privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com.
Welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of May 11th, 2024. Thank you for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's hour one.
I always like to kick things off with something really fun and interesting. And how much would you be willing to pay for a whiz-bang brand new TV? Would it be like $2,000, $3,000? Well, get this. Oh my gosh. Samsung is launching a 114-inch TV with micro LEDs. How much do you think it is? Just make a guess. You're totally wrong. 114 inches, $132,000. Whoa. Okay. They know that's a lot of money, so they're going to sweeten the deal. They're going to throw in an $8,000 8K TV, a discount on some speakers, and an additional hotel room, a complimentary night at a hotel valued at $2,200. Okay. So, wow. $132,000 for a TV. If only I got $1 for every single time that I told a truly funny joke here on the show, then maybe I could afford, well, I don't know, a Hisense or a TCL TV. And on that happy note, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we are just so glad that you're here with us because after all, you have tapped into the nation's biggest, best, most trusted source for all things digital. It's called The Kim Komando Show because after all, funny how that works. I'm America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again. And you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top stations throughout the United States. You can also get us as a podcast, as a webcast, as a perk of your membership, as part of the Komando community. And just a quick reminder that you can get the Kim Komando Show commercial-free on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And I'd like to thank all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio joining us, reaching over 375,000 U.S. service members serving in 175 countries and 200 ships at sea. I love that. All right, every single day, just for you, well, for me too, I visit at least 30 to 40 different websites to make sure that we are on the know of every single thing that's happening in the tech world. And here are the top 5 things you need to know right now. There was a huge data breach. Ascension, one of the largest healthcare systems in the U.S., fell prey to cyber attacks. Now, this comes after which other one? Yeah, we talked about it here on the show, talking about Change Healthcare, the parent company of United Health. So I think it's pretty safe to say that our hospitals and our healthcare systems are just under attack. Now, you may be sitting there saying, well, Kim, all right, my data is up on the dark web again. What does this mean to my medical ID? You know what? It's actually more than that. It is. This would actually mean the difference between life and death because major computer systems are needing to be taken offline because of the cyber attacks. Take the case of Jack Lopez, an Ascension patient. He thought his cancer came back. He was in intense pain. He was suffering from internal bleeding. He went to an Ascension-run hospital. He put in requests for meds to help alleviate some of the pain. But because of the cyber attack, he waited 7 hours for a nurse to even triage him. Okay. He said he saw patients checking themselves out while he was just waiting. When asked whether his information was safe, he was given the runaround. Okay. Nurses are actually turning patients away and telling them to go to other hospitals. So cyber attacks are here. Okay. They're happening. So here's what you need to do. Number one, I want you to make a list of all your meds, including the dosage, and have a digital copy stored on your phone in the notes and one printed in your wallet. This means just writing down everything that you take, what you're allergic to, and having on hand just in case something were to happen. Now, if you're an Apple person, I want you to link up with your medical records on Apple Health. You can just follow the prompts on Apple Health. Actually, we're going to have everything all written out for you on the website too. So just tap there. And then the other thing on Apple Health is that you can actually download a copy of all your medical records in a PDF. So if you have some type of chronic condition, make sure that you do that. Again, if you need the steps, you'll find them over at commando.com. Moving on to our next story, we're going to talk about payday loans. Okay, you need cash now. So payday loans, they're not good, but now we have a stream of apps that do the same thing. They have names like Dave and Albert and Bridget. Empower. Okay, don't fall for it. Here's why. The APR on cash advances, are you ready for it? 376%. My gosh, almost 400% markup. Okay, between layoffs and inflation, it's been a few tough years. I get that. But what you can do is just call up whoever you owe money to, request a date change. You can ask family members and friends for a temporary loan. Also call 211. They can actually help you find local and federal assistance. All right, next up, we're going to talk about the Google killer, OpenAI. Rumors out this past week that they're going to come out with their own search. Yes, to compete directly against Google. Directly against. So now you don't have to Google search to look something up. Not that you're even doing that anymore. I can't think of the last time I actually did a Google search. I am just using strictly AI at this point. But speaking of Chat GPT, I'll tell you, it is truly going to be a Google killer when they actually release the search. Because you have a lot of people that aren't using AI yet, right? I mean, they're just sitting there, just kind of happily going around their Google searches. But once they tap into AI, I think you'll find, as I did, that it's just easier just to use ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude or any one of the other ones. And finally, this heartwarming story. Even if country music is not your thing, this story is going to touch your heart. Randy Travis, an incredibly talented singer-songwriter. Here's a taste of one of his top hits. I'm gonna love you forever and ever. Okay, now you know who Randy Travis is, in case you're not sure. Tragedy struck him back in 2013 when he suffered a severe stroke. He had only a 2% chance of survival, but he pulled through. Now, unfortunately, the stroke resulted in a paralysis that left him no longer able to sing. So his record label got to be thinking, why can't we give Randy his voice back? And so his longtime producer, Kyle Lenning, teamed up with singer James Dupre, and they launched a new song using AI that blends Randy's voice with James' voice. And of course, Randy Travis did give his blessing, and out came this song. A touch that told me I was the one. It's called Where That Came From. Isn't that just remarkable? All right, coming up, let me tell you, this hour is just loaded, just jam-packed with tips like, free perks from your cable bill, how to get Google to remove your personal details from search results, how to get the highest Zestimate for your house. And of course, we have all of your great calls, and you have me, Kim Commando. Okay, I just want you to go to one place, winfromkim.com. winfromkim.com. That's where you can enter to win a brand new iPhone 15. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. All right, before we start all of your phone calls, I mentioned this on a recent show, and a lot of you wanted to know more. I'm talking about Amazon's trade-in program. Basically, if it doesn't work, they will still take it. A lot of people are like, well, if I had it in a drawer for a while, it doesn't work, they'll still take it. Yes, you just go to Amazon's trade-in program, and on that page, you can just pick out what you have, describe what you have, and then you get gift cards in return. Again, that's Amazon's trade-in program. Okay, how about we start with Wesley in Evansville, Kentucky. Hi there, Wesley.
Well, Kim, I have a very sad, depressing situation that I've been dealing with since 2020.
Okay.
I moved back from D.C. to my hometown of Kentucky. Now, it's a small town, very, 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 very small. One stoplight small.
Okay.
We know each other. I know all of my neighbors. We've been here for 20-plus years. When I got back to the house, I noticed a lot of abnormalities regarding sounds and harmonics and RF frequency and just a loud, just noisy, disturbing energy. And I'm susceptible to that. Like, I'm very sensitive to it. So...
Oh, wait. What do you mean by harmonics and energy?
Well, I could be upstairs in my room, door closed, and no one else would be home. But downstairs, I would hear bang and boom and noises that no one was making because I'm the only person in the house.
And it's not just normal house sounds?
No, because there's no one else home. It has to do with electricity. And I noticed all of our routers were being fried somehow, and I've had the internet company come out and check. The most they could tell us was that we had open ground in the house.
Okay.
The electricity is not sound, it's not ground. And then, through the process of elimination, I narrowed it down to a neighbor. This neighbor moved into the house in 2014. This neighbor has this contraption in his backyard, and his backyard faces our front yard.
Okay.
And it's like a homemade contraption. It's just a pole with some wiring and a couple of gadgets attached to it, but it's pointed directly at our house.
Is it some type of antenna?
It is not an antenna. We have an antenna on our house, like one of those old ones.
Okay.
And we also have 2 old satellite dishes.
Okay.
But his contraption is just a pole with like a battery attached to it and wiring coming from it and like 2 gizmos sticking out. Like, I really want to show you, but it looks very strange and very odd, and it's not used for lighting. It doesn't light up his backyard. It just is ominous, and it's just standing there looking at us.
Is it? Do you think it's a ham radio antenna?
It could be,
because you could put in that address. And see, ham radio operators have to be registered by law.
Okay.
So I'm thinking maybe that's a ham radio antenna. You'd have to send me a picture of it. You'd have to send me a picture of it.
I definitely talked to Amber, and we're going to make that happen. But that's just a part of the backstory. So It gets even stranger. Apart from noticing the things with the house, and then noticing the Wi-Fi being like manipulated, he's been hacking every device that I own, that I get, every iPhone, every tablet, every laptop, every Android. He plays middleman with the Wi-Fi.
How do you? Well, you're saying that your phones have been hacked, and give me examples of how this person is hacking your phones and everything.
With iPhone, every Apple ID I've had, I get disabled from it eventually. It's less quick with Apple devices, but it still happens. He uses a lot of the accessibility features with the iPhone. A lot of those come already turned on. Bluetooth, as soon as I take the device out of the box, it is pretty much compromised. He uses the NFC technology. He uses with Android. I have one of the government phones right now. It was given to me, but it's like the phone is tethered to his software, and it's like I don't have control over the Android operating system.
Okay.
The phone that I have now that I'm speaking to you on, it will shut off, and it will factory reset on its own, but it doesn't actually factory reset. It acts like it's doing it, but when you factory reset, the phone is supposed to go down and then come back up.
Okay.
But I do a factory reset even with the buttons, and the phone doesn't go down. It just says clearing metadata, no such file exists, and then E-Drive, something, something.
Okay.
And
Well, let's talk about the neighbor across the street. Okay.
yes.
Is he some type of retired rocket scientist or anything like that?
No. He is, from what I understand, he is a retired on-the-road trucker from California.
Okay. And why do you think that this person would be trying to disrupt all of your electronics?
I don't even know him. He does not know me. I confronted him once. He says it's because my record is a mile long and he had some racist things to say. And back to this, when he moved in, I believe that he started surveilling us and listening to our conversation.
No, wait, whoa. What is he? What do you mean that he said you have a record a mile long? What is that?
Apparently, he thinks that I am this huge criminal with this crazy background of criminal activity, and that's just not the case. And he's taken up some type of anger and hatred toward me and my family because he not only hacks everything, but he stalks me and he tracks me. And where I go, he goes. And the worst part of it is that he's listening at this moment. He follows us where we go.
Okay, here's the deal. We have bills to pay around here, and that means we need to head into and play just a few commercials. Now, Wesley, I put you on hold. I want you to hang on because when we come right back, we're going to learn more about you and your neighbors and all that stalking. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise, home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim. All right, even if your home is not for sale, let me tell you, it has a listing on Zillow.com, and Zillow's algorithms compare your home to similar sales in your area. Now, a Zestimate has always been a point of contention, and most of us say, oh, it's just too low. So what you want to do is get into Zillow, claim your home, and then you start adding details like the lot size, the square footage, the bedrooms, the number of bathrooms. Make sure it's all correct. Does it have a view, a pool? Is it gated? You can add photos and videos, but I don't recommend that. I want you to just, keep it there. You have all the details there. It just doesn't mean that anybody who's just on the internet should be able to take a look at your living room or what's going on in your backyard, and because you might be just divulging too many details in those photos. All right, we were in conversation with Wesley in Evansville, Kentucky, and if you're just joining us, Wesley has been having a heck of a time because he believes that a neighbor across the street is doing all kinds of nefarious things and stalking and erasing things on his devices. Wesley, thanks for holding on with us. Now, where were we? Do you see him in his car behind you? Is that it?
No, he does this all from his home through the use of technology. The sad part is I can be around like a friend, and they can hear it too. They'll hear my name. They'll hear all types of racist, evil comments. And sometimes I'll ask them, like, you hear that? And they'll be like, yes.
Now, have you gone to the police?
I absolutely have.
And what do they say?
Well, one, they don't have the capability. They don't have the intelligence or the capability to investigate. They don't believe me because it sounds so far-fetched. And they're like, well, what evidence do you have? What evidence do you have? What proof do you have? What proof do you have? First of all, I know all of my neighbors. Mm-hmm. We all have been here for 20 plus years.
Is anybody else experiencing this, or is it just you?
Well, the people in my family are experiencing it. They just don't know, like I know, what it is and where it's coming from.
But are any of your other neighbors saying like, oh, this is happening to them too?
I have not. I've asked a couple neighbors, mm-hmm. but I've been dealing with this for 4 years. And I talked to like one neighbor. She graduated a year ahead of me in school. I talked to her and told her about it, but that was in the beginning stages when I didn't know as much as I know now. And she claimed that, she's mostly inside the house all the time and she didn't really know anything.
Okay.
And I haven't spoken to anyone since.
Okay. Okay. So here's my recommendation. Number one, I would call the power company and ask them to come out and survey the power that's coming into the house. And to figure out, you might need an electrician there to say, okay, I need you to take some readings on what type of transmission's coming out of these antennas or what's across the street from you. I have a feeling it's probably an antenna. And maybe the gadget's connected to it. Could be related to, like I said, ham radio, or could be just weather station, whatever it may be. But if you send me a picture, I can take a look at it. I would obviously reset the router in your house and make sure that sucker's locked down 8 ways from Sunday. If you can not use Wi-Fi, that would be best. Have hard connections to everything. That's a little bit more difficult to get through than, breaking into somebody's Wi-Fi. You definitely need to also increase whatever you're doing with law enforcement. Because if you really think that this guy's after you and your whole family, I want to make sure that everybody's safe too. So, if you can't find somebody in your town who wants to hear your story and wants to be able to work with you on this, then, you're going to have to escalate it. Maybe go to the attorneys general or whatever it may be for your community, for your county, rather. And so because I want to make sure that like I said, everybody's just safe. You want to secure all your devices and make sure that you document everything along the way. You might need a cybersecurity expert. Not sure if that's really pertinent right now, but if you do, we have somebody that we can connect you with. I don't know how much he'd charge. His name is Rico, but he's our go-to guy. He's a friend of the show who can go into networks and see exactly what's going on. You might want to tap into him as well. But again, send me that picture. And then what we can do, Wesley, is we can take it to the next step. But I want to make sure that, again, the family's safe, contact the authorities, and change all your passwords, secure devices, document everything. And then we'll have a follow-up call once I take a look at that picture. And thank you for your call today. It just seems I get so many calls about stalking lately, really. All right, we're going to switch gears a little bit right now, because aside from the Kim Komando Show, I host a podcast called Kim Komando Today that if you haven't checked it out, let me tell you, you are just missing out. So fun. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts. But what I like about Kim Komando Today is that it's a different format, and I get to spend some good quality time with really interesting people like Ben Bouster. And Ben is this guy behind a podcast called I Can't Sleep. He has hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people who listen to Ben every night, read articles from Wikipedia. Like, who would ever think that? Here, take a listen. So when did you realize that your voice could put people to sleep?
2018, talking with my boss. After telling him something super important, he said, "I'm sorry, your voice is too soothing and put me to sleep." I don't know what you just said. So that was maybe the point to say, maybe there's something to do with this.
And so you thought, heck, I could make a podcast out of this? Really?
Kind of. It was kind of the perfect combination of those comments, of watching an episode of Parks and Rec about a radio show that was happening, And there was technology at the time called Anchor.fm that allowed you to upload and start a podcast for free. And all of those hit at the same time. And I thought, let's try this and see if it actually works.
So now when you're going to launch this and you're going to put together your Putting People to Sleep podcast, why Wikipedia? Why, of all the resources to choose from, did you pick Wikipedia?
At first I was just trying to think what's something that's mundane and boring, and started looking at things like, vests that people wear at Walmart as workers, or roads, or rubber, or, just things that are just so mundane. And then realized that those topics are found in a more open source sort of vein through Wikipedia than trying to either create it myself or trying to find other sources that I'd have to worry about copyright.
Now, how long is a normal episode? And do people tell you how long it usually takes for them to fall asleep? How many minutes into the episode?
Yes. So each episode ranges from about 30 to 45 minutes. And it usually takes people between 5 and 10 minutes to nod off. I've got comments from people who are saying, it seems like it would have been a good episode, but I don't know. I was out in 5 minutes before it really even got started.
When did you know, okay, this is really going to be something?
It took a number of years, actually. It started as fairly slow, as most things do, and just kept seeing it go up and up with people listening and telling friends about it. And about a year or so ago, I started working with a company to help with the ad side of things and cross promotion and things like that. And we started to try and do more episodes. And there's always that fear that you might oversaturate the market if you're doing too much and things along those lines. But then, we just would experiment. At one point, I was doing 4 episodes a week, and that was too much. And then we pared it back down to what seemed like a healthy 3 days a week, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday night sort of experience. But that graph just keeps going up.
So I was thinking about this. You may have something, the most unvaluable piece of media space. In the middle of a podcast, there's a commercial that plays. It's called a mid-roll. Your mid-roll spot is worthless because everyone's already asleep by the time they get to that commercial. Do you have advertising on the podcast, and it is all in the beginning?
All in the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of the things we sorted out. Was we realized people are falling asleep fast. So if we do mid rolls, you're just not going to have any success.
Yeah, no one will hear it.
You know what? That's true.
Yep.
I was, no post rolls.
No, nothing. It's worthless.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That is incredible. What makes your voice so soothing?
Ooh, that's a deep subject. I think there's a combination of a few things, right? There's the physicality of just the body and the tone of the voice, but then there's also a sort of cadence.
Andrew's falling asleep.
See, Andrew, I did it, nailed it.
Sorry, I'm back.
That sort of cadence, and it just helps with people just to pay attention just enough to say, oh, you're going to read about Lord of the Rings? I like Lord of the Rings. It just doesn't hold their attention long enough. So I don't know. I'm sure there's some physiological aspect to it. There's just the fact that people can focus for a moment and wind down a tiny bit.
That's true.
And let their brain stop wandering around so much and focus on one thing for a little bit to give them permission to let go.
And not sitting there scrolling on Insta.
Yeah.
Or anything else along the way. So I understand that you're going to be reading my Wikipedia entry.
Yes.
Oh, excellent.
Excellent. Let's hear it.
Are you ready to fall asleep to that one?
I am. I'm tired now.
Kimberly Ann Commando is an American radio personality and the host of 2 daily radio shows and 1 weekend radio show about consumer technology. On her weekly call-in show, she provides advice about technology gadgets, websites, smartphone apps, and internet security.
The pause was key there.
Yeah, you know what?
That pause is so smart.
You know what? You are amazing, Ben. That is, it is. I mean, I've been in broadcasting for a long time. I never thought of doing a podcast or a show reading Wikipedia entries.
No, and I've been in for 25 years in radio. No program director has come up to me and said, people would like you more if you were more boring. That's never happened, but you figured it out.
Now, if you were falling asleep, time to wake up. Yeah, we got more of the show. Hey, listen, you can find Kim Commando Today wherever you get your podcasts. And you can also watch Kim Commando Today over at YouTube, youtube.com/Kim Commando. We're also on rumble.com/Kim Commando, youtube.com/Kim Commando, or rumble.com/Kim Commando. All right, if you're still paying for cable TV, you probably have some good reasons. But let's talk about what you might not know that you're getting for free, like free movies. I want you to check your cable's on-demand menu for those. Now, there's a good chance of what you want to watch is available for free. Now, what about music? Yeah, you don't have to sit in front of your TV to stream music anymore because after all, you may have these smart speakers all attached to it, but you may be able to get free music streaming from your cable provider. So this way you don't have to pay for Spotify or Pandora. Also, check with your cable because you might be able to split the cost with your neighbor and turn your Wi-Fi into a hotspot. You can do that legally. You just have to check with your provider. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls and more tips and tricks you don't want to miss here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, let's see. Bill in Sarasota, Florida. Glad to have you with us today.
I'm on my third Apple Watch, which I love to death, but I'm real active outside, and I keep smashing them beyond belief.
What are you doing to them?
Oh, biking and running and banging walls and literally smashing them.
Wow.
And, so my question is this. I've looked at the film numbers and stuff they say for the glass, which is pretty common. But I'm looking at more, there's like these cases I see, but I'm just befuddled every place I go about what one would be appropriate to, even rise up above the glass.
Wow, you know what? I've never heard of this happening. Really?
Figures.
You're like, well, it's always Lucky Meek. It's Lucky Bill. That's right.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And I toyed with going back to the really durable things, but my wife wants me to have the phone on my wrist.
Of course. If you're running around and are you falling?
Actually, no. That's the humorous part. I will be moving fast. I'll turn around, I'll smash it on a wall, or out on a run, do something like that. But basically, I see the stuff, but I'm never quite sure what one are. For sure,
I get what you're saying. I'm befuddled about how many times you've busted an Apple Watch. Because I'm pretty active too. But I want to put like a bubble around you, okay? Not just a case on your watch. I just want to just put you in one of those big little rubberized things around your whole body. Here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on. I'll go on Amazon and find a couple for you to check out. There, you don't have to spend a whole bunch of money. $10, $20. I'll give you 2 to select from. But basically, we're going to look at. It has like a bumper case on it.
I've looked at them. I just am so concerned ordering that way that the cost is getting a little stiff.
Oh well, I'm sure because you're looking at a Series 9 watch if you're on the latest. Got one of those.
Yeah, we are. I am.
And every time you turn around, it's like I'm sure your wife's going like, "Really, honey? Really? You busted it again?"
I'm glad she got the good phone.
Yeah. Yes. You know what? Happy wife, happy life, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put you on hold, and we're going to send you a couple of links, Bill, to some rugged watch cases, so that this way, when you're running and biking and you're outdoors, that you don't break that watch again. Ooh. You might want to make sure that you have Apple Care on all these things. I'm sure you do by now. Maybe even check your credit cards make sure it's covered under there, and maybe some insurance policy with that. Wow, 3 times. I've had a watch forever. But you know what? I don't really wear it that much, but I was getting too obsessed with following all my metrics. I was like, okay, we just need to have fun now. Did you notice what he said? I helped him out before, and I can help you too. Head over to komando.com, and then there's a link at the top that says email Kim. I read every single note that you send me. Have you ever Googled yourself and found out all kinds of personal details about you out there for the entire world to see? Now Google will remove your private info and things, as long as it's things like bank account numbers, credit card numbers, medical records. And the good news, you can request that your phone number, your email address, your physical address, and more can be removed from Google's search results. Here's what you need to do. You submit the request, Google reviews it, and then they will notify you that they took action or that they just decided not to. So while you might be successful in getting Google to remove your personal info from search results, just keep in mind, if those personal details are on a website, there's really nothing that Google can do. You actually have to contact that website. All right, winfromkim.com. Yes, that's where you need to go because you can enter to win a brand new iPhone 15. Now, you will get subscribed to get a few issues of my newsletter. Not a problem there. But do it now while you're thinking about it. Head over to winfromkim.com. winfromkim.com.
Thanks for listening to The Kim Komando Show. Here's hour 2.
Okay, now what do you think about when I say the name Tom Selleck? Magnum PI, right? Well, apparently he's also had a TV show. It's been on for 14 seasons called Blue Bloods. I have never seen it. I didn't even know it was there. And it's just got canceled. Now, the reason why I bring this up is not because he had a show that got canceled, but Tom Selleck told People magazine, think about this. He has never, ever sent a single email. Never. Okay. He has never, ever texted one person. Wow. Isn't that incredible? So who does it for him? He said his secretary. Oh, gosh. His secretary and also his wife. Yeah. Hey, Tom, if you're listening, you might want to check to see what they're writing about you and texting about you because, dude, you just got canceled. Just say. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kim Komando, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. It's the biggest show. It's the best show. It's the award-winning show about all things digital. And you're about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing is now a tech thing. And of course, you can find us all across the country on over 420 top stations. You can get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast, too, a few ways. It's a perk of your membership as part of the Komando community. And then you can also get the Kim Komando Show commercial-free as a podcast on Apple Podcasts and also Spotify. And a special shout-out goes to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, talking about the servicemen and women. We salute you and thank you for your service in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force in 175 different countries. All right, every single day, I do all throughout the day, I hit at least 35, 40, sometimes even more websites, depending upon what's going on in the tech world, to make sure that we both know what the heck is happening. And here are the top 5 things you need to know right now. And we're going to start with TikTok. TikTok is now suing America. A new law forces TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, to sell TikTok. We talked about it here on the show. And, you know, ByteDance is nothing more than a shill for the Chinese communists, a country that we might be at war someday soon. Now, the lawsuit claims America is violating TikTok's First Amendment rights by forcing its parent company to sell it. What? Okay. If we were violating TikTok's free speech rights, we would be controlling it, which we're not. If we were in control, there'd be no need to pry it free from the Chinese communists. 170 million Americans. Isn't that crazy? Mostly kids spend at least 90 minutes a day, every single day on TikTok. Wow. Lecturing us on the First Amendment is a perfect example about how communist China, a country whose citizens have, zero rights, lying and manipulating young Americans. Moving on to number 2. Oh my gosh, this is just nuts. You pay for Amazon Prime, and you know what they're doing now? The next time you watch something on Amazon Prime Video, prepare yourself. You're going to see ads even when you pause the movie, even when you're already watching a commercial. Why? Jeff needs the money. Jeff Bezos, he needs the money. Even when you pause the video, you're going to get something called shoppable carousels, a sliding lineup of products during ad breaks. And then you can just go ahead and add to cart. Yes, you can add to cart. You can turn it all off, but guess what? It's going to cost you. You ready for it? $3 more a month. Moving on to number 3, chatbots. Your convos are not private. Yes, using the Gemini chatbot from Google to answer your questions is great. All you have to do is just type in the URL, the @ button, and then with your prompt, and then bang, you're just redirected to an answer from Gemini. You know, it's just like right there in the browser. Now, on the other side, your search inquiries can be reviewed by a human. That's right. Google says that your conversations are reviewed and annotated by humans. Guess what? They're also not deleted when you delete your activity. They can be retained up to 3 years. 3 years. So here's the bottom line, folks. Just assume anything that you put into not just Gemini, any chatbot, it's going to be there forever. It's just going to be part of a permanent record. So don't put things like your full name. It's not your therapist, your social security number, bank accounts, medical records, things like that. Moving on to number 4, I told you this was going to happen. I did, and it did. This past week, Apple unveiled a new and larger iPad with a 13-inch screen and an iPad Air with an M2 superfast chip and its first iPad Pro with an OLED screen. Here's the problem. Nobody really knows what the iPad is supposed to be used for. They also have a brand new Apple Pen. Everybody was so excited about it. Like, oh, yes, an Apple Pen. And now charges adjacent to the iPad. The headphone jack is gone. People are like disappointed about that. Oh, what are we going to do now? What do we really need a new iPad for? Okay. I mean, I've been using the same one for years, and I read notes from the show. I maybe read some books. I watch Netflix. But the iPad Pro is being marketed really towards creative folks. I'm talking about musicians and filmmakers and graphic designers. It's super thin. When you get the top of the line spec, how much do you think this new iPad is? Anybody? About $2,000. Whoa, $2,000. And finally, this coming in at number 5, it's vacation time. You spend a whole week packing your bag and just getting that perfect balance. You know what I'm talking about, that perfect balance between like undies and shirts and socks and pants and sweaters, whatever it may be, only to find the airlines lose your bag. You're like, oh, how can this happen? This is crazy. On average, U.S.-based airlines lose one bag for every 200 they get checked. That's a bad thing, 1 out of 200. The worst, American Airlines, 1 out of 100 bags go missing. United, Alaska Airlines, just not far behind them. So if you're flying this summer, tuck an Apple AirTag or Tire Tracker inside your bag. This way, when the airlines say, we don't know where your luggage is located, you can show them your phone and go, there it is. Look, I'm in Boise, but my bag is in Boston. You also want to snap photos of your bag, the contents, because the photos can really save the day. And also, get the airline's official app. Many will show you where your luggage is located, but your very best bet, just carry it on. Just carry it with you. That's really what you need to do. And don't even think about suing the airline. Don't even think about that. You'll lose your case. Oh, you didn't see that one coming. All right, coming up, we have a mistake that a lot of people are making with rental cars. And then later on, how to cancel your subscriptions, the easy and fun way. We have all of your great phone calls, and you have me, Kim Komando. Okay, you ready? I want you to go to winfromkim.com. Winfromkim.com. Remember that address, because that's where we give away some really wonderful prizes. Like right now, we're giving away a $799 brand new iPhone 15. Yes, winfromkim.com. Now, there is a catch. The catch is that you're going to get a few issues of my free newsletter, which, by the way, has a 4.88 star rating out of 5 stars. Everybody loves them. You will, too. Head over to winfromkim.com. All right. How about we start with Charles in Austin, Texas. Hi there, Charles.
Hey, I have really enjoyed the show. But before I get to my question, real quick, I remember some of the rules because I'm a former local talk show host, and I want to jump into it soon. But I really, really like the current, your daily email. Every day I learn stuff, and I'm definitely not a computer techie, so it's great.
Well, that's great. So kind of you to say, because it's a lot of work, as you can tell. It's a lot of work putting that together.
Absolutely. I know that. Well, and so here's my issue. I was laid off in December. I am looking for some work at home stuff that I can just get into it from the home office. I have an English background, so I can do proofreading and stuff, maybe for a publisher or an author. But how do I avoid the myriad scams and get through to the genuine opportunities?
Yeah, this is a tough one. It is, because there are so many scams out there, Charles. There's so many.
I know.
You want to stick at legitimate platforms and legitimate companies. There are sites like, Upwork and Freelancer. Amazon has something called the Turk. That's TURK. And that's where you can also find legit opportunities. There are websites like Automatic, that's Automatic with 2 T's, and Zapier and Aha, that they are really places that are hiring content creators and proofreaders. Now,
Yeah.
I will tell you that you are in a career path of extreme diminishing returns right now
Wow. Great.
because of AI. I mean, just being honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we have a copy editor here, Mark. He's 1 month shy of being with us for 8 years, and
Wow.
what we have done with Mark over time is that we've transitioned him into editing the newsletter, posting things on the website, curating content, but copy editing. That's an art that is going away. And Mark, after again almost being here 8 years, we just had his goodbye party yesterday. Is that he has a job with Amazon in the logistics department, and which is an interesting transition because of tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity, and even as you're writing things that will automatically correct your grammar. Okay, having a person physically copy edit, just having that person do that, we're not going to replace Mark.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Because
I understand.
Because the editor of our newsletter is also going to edit the copy while she's editing for tone and brand awareness, all that other good stuff, right? So I don't want you. So I'm just being honest with you, Charles. I just don't want you to sit there and go like, "Oh, wow, there aren't really too many gigs out there for me to be a copy editor." Now, there are things that AI cannot do, and that's where I want to direct you to. Okay. And there are websites like Fiverr, and like I talked about, Upwork and Freelancer. That if I were in your position, is that you may be able to pick up a few gigs along the way. Okay.
Yeah.
But let's think of something that AI cannot do. Okay. What can AI not do at this given moment? Okay. AI cannot replace and really absorb and be a person's writing. Like, I can't tell AI, write a tip about becoming an astronaut in Kim Commando's style. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not there yet. Will it be there someday soon? Yes. The Chat GPT and all the AI that we see right now is going to look like the first iPhone versus the new iPhone 16 coming out in about 12 months. Okay. So we're on this trajectory right now. But maybe think about things that you could do. Okay, you have a background in broadcasting and English, which tells me that you have great communication skills. Okay,
I like to think so.
Okay, so what if you could put together an ad up on Fiverr or do this with somebody contact them. Why don't you write their memoir? Why don't you interview somebody? Interview somebody for 5 hours or 8 hours and say, you know what, I'll interview for 5 to 8 hours and then I'll write your memoir for $2,000, $2,500, or something like that. I want you to think out the box. Think out of the box. Okay. So so I'm planting those seeds with you right now, and I want you to think about it. And then if you need any help along the way, just give me a call back and we can work through the second step of all this. But the first step is for you to figure out something that you'd be excited to do on a Sunday afternoon when there's no game on and you're like, you know what? Oh, I can't wait to do this. Okay.
Yeah.
Or you get up in the morning. I mean, let me tell you, Charles, I get up in the morning. I'm like, whoa, it's 7:00. I'm ready to take on the world again.
Yeah.
And because Barry will say to me like, so what are you doing today? I'm like, I'm taking over the world. And he starts laughing. Yeah. Because I'm just so excited to be able to do what I get to do every single day. Such an honor, such a blessing. And I want you to feel that passion too, Charles. I want you to feel that. So think about what I said. Take a look at Upwork, Freelancer, Fiverr. Do that. See what's available out there. Maybe there's somebody who they're in Austin because you've been there forever. You've interviewed so many people that you can say, you know what, I'd like to write your memoir. I want you to have a legacy that you can give your kids and your grandkids so they know more about you and who you are as a person. And I bet you'll find a niche right there instead of just a copy-editing job that's really going away. It's just going away like the punch card operators, long gone. All right, let's say you order something online and you're like, I never got it. What do? Number one, contact the seller. And you want to go to these online marketplaces like Etsy, and the sellers have, reputations to protect. Now, if the seller does not respond, call your credit card company. Explain that you never got the package, you never got your order. And number three, if you paid with a debit card, notify your bank of a fraudulent charge. All right, coming up, we have a huge mistake that people are making with their rental cars. I don't want you to ever do that. And of course, we have more of your phone calls here on The Kim Komando Show. All right. Seems like wherever you go online, somebody's saying, okay, I need a little subscription here, $1 here, $5 a month there, $10 a month there. I'm trying this new, I'm not going to tell you who it is right now. I'm trying this new way with my email, $30 a month there. Okay. Wow. With all these subscriptions, how do you make sure that you're not overextending yourself or you're paying for stuff that you're not using? Well, that answer is still to come. We're going to be talking about that later on here on the Kim Komando Show. Now, aside from the Kim Komando Show here, I also host a podcast called Kim Komando Today. You can find it wherever you do your podcasts. But I totally love doing Kim Komando Today because it's a different format. First of all, Andrew Babinski is joining me. You may remember him as a longtime call screener here on the show for, well over 10 years. But it also gives us a chance to sit down and really have time to get into somebody's story. So this past week, we had a conversation with Rob Tannenbaum. He's a super smart guy. He was the music editor for Blender. He's a columnist for the Rolling Stone, AARP. And he is just a super smart, savvy guy. So Rob was super surprised when he became a victim of a scam that cost him about $4,000. Here, take a listen.
First of all, I read about it. You're a pretty smart guy.
Ish.
I mean, you're no dummy.
Exactly.
I'm smart adjacent.
And all of this, all these things that were stolen and hacked from you, this really wasn't your fault at all because someone else responded to an email, right?
Well, I made one key mistake, which I'll get to in a minute because I don't want to tell the end of the story before the beginning.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Let's start from the beginning. Walk us through it.
Like everyone, a couple of times a year, I get an email that says, hey, our database was hacked. We're really sorry. Here's, 2 days free of credit monitoring on us. And I knew that a password that I'd been using since the 90s was on the dark web. And systematically over a period of time, I would replace that password. And there didn't seem to be any problem. I started to notice some unusual activity last summer. One thing was I got more than the usual number of password reset texts. I also had fraud on a credit card, and then the next day, fraud on a second credit card. That, I don't know what your experience has been, but the shelf life these days of a credit card is anywhere from 9 to 18 months.
Sure.
Because your numbers are going to get stolen and you got to change your credit card. So that wasn't so unusual. The two unusual things, first of all, I woke up one morning and there was a text message, an automatic notification that my investment advisor had replied to my email, but I hadn't emailed him. So I logged into my account and I saw a message from me, the person pretending to be me, asking to transfer money out of my account and into a different account. The next thing, so we secured my account and I sort of thought that was the end of it. But then my Citibank checking account also had fraud, and that had to be closed. I went online to order something from Amazon, and I was locked out of my account. So I called customer service to find out what was going on. And, I was fortunate that I spoke to someone who was very smart. And he said, well, your account is locked because of repeated violations of terms of service. I said, I haven't gotten any emails about that. He said, we've been emailing you So you should look in your email archive folder and see what's there. What the hackers had done was hack my email account and set up 2 filters so that any message from my investment bank, or I say my investment bank like I own an investment bank, a message from them or from, yeah, thanks, Adam, or from Amazon would go straight into the archive folder and I would never see it.
Wow,
So
that's smart. That's smart.
That was pretty ingenious. And there had been, most of my money, not that I have much, like 18 of my $20 in savings is in this investment account. So we secured that. And I thought, okay, that's the end of it. I changed my username. I changed my password. And about 3 days later, I got a call from the investment advisor who said they just accessed your account again.
Wow.
So how was it possible that they knew my new username and my new password? What I eventually figured out was they had hacked my password manager. So the central mistake I made when I went and changed the passwords on all my different e-commerce and banking accounts, I didn't change it on my password manager. Because whoever thinks that hackers are going to try to access your password manager, how would they even know?
The password managers, that's what they boast. They boast their security and that you use a password manager so you'll be secure.
I know. It seems like LastPass gets hacked a lot. Which one were you using?
I used 1Password.
1Password.
I use LastPass.
Yeah.
My password to get my LastPass is like as long as the Constitution because I'm worried about it getting hacked.
What is your password?
All right, write this down. It's cap. Wait a minute.
So
is it my name is not Adam 1990?
Call me Ron 64.
So when you updated all your passwords, but you didn't change the master password.
That's right. That was the stupid thing I did.
So now when you did all this, were you on your computer? Did your computer have any viruses or anything on it?
Kept scanning it for malware.
Nothing.
And there was no malware. I ran 2 different programs searching for malware. One of the things that I discovered in the course of this absolutely miserable experience is that cybersecurity doesn't really exist for individuals. Most cybersecurity experts, they want to work with companies. They want to have a $1 million annual contract. And if you're an individual person, it's hard to find any expertise. But through Facebook, a friend of a friend, there was a guy I talked to who didn't want me to use his name in the article I wrote. And he said, listen, you just need, he said, I don't know what they've done, but they are in your computer and you should assume that everything you do, they can see or know about. And you should, at this point, you should consider your computer toxic waste. So I took my computer offline. It's hard to live offline,
for sure,
especially if you're a writer, and replaced it with a new computer and started over. And one of the important things with starting over was not importing any of my existing applications other than what's native to a Mac, because spyware or malware, whatever they implanted, might have been in those applications.
So then conceptually, they were getting copies of every single thing that you did.
Conceivably, yeah. They saw, photos of my kid, my nudes, everything, really.
And those are priceless. So you really did lose a lot. So in the end, when it comes all down to it, what did you end up losing? After all of this, after all these breaches in all your accounts, were you out the money?
I lost a big fat zero.
Oh,
okay.
Because another thing I learned in the course of this is that there are some companies who are consumer friendly and some that aren't. Everybody knows that, but the extent to which the experience varies from company to company was astounding. So I had been a Citibank customer since, I don't even know, 30, 35 years. They closed my account without asking me and without even consulting me. There was fraud, and so they closed it.
Now, I know you want to hear the entire interview. As a matter of fact, you can watch the interview too. But to hear the entire interview, what you have to do is wherever you get your podcast, just search for Kim Komando Today. That's Kim Komando Today with a K, of course. And then you can also watch the interviews on youtube.com/KimCommando, facebook.com/KimCommando, as well as rumble.com/KimCommando. Note the trend, Kim Commando. Note the trend, yes. But speaking of the podcast, really, it's something that we're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday live. 11:30 a.m. that's Pacific time, which is 2:30 p.m. on the East Coast. And so if you find yourself, available at that time, you can watch us do it live. You can like, comment, share. We always read the best comments. In addition to that, you can always catch it on demand, just like you can on an audio podcast. So if you're more of a podcast person, audio podcast, just search for Kim Commando today. If you're a visual type person, is that you want to find us on all the sites that I mentioned, YouTube, Rumble, as well as Facebook. All right, so you rented a car. And you do what everybody does. You take your phone and you connect it up to the car, because this way you can take calls and you can have your GPS working and everything's just all wonderful. Here's the problem. The next person who rents that car has access to all your data, and who knows where your data might end up. Rental companies routinely sell cars from its fleet. So here's what you need to do. Before you return a rental car, remove your phone from the paired devices. If there is a factory reset option, you can try that. It'll erase any data stored on the car's computer. All right, still to come, how to cancel subscriptions the easy way. And we have more of your fantastic phone calls here on the Kim Commando Show. All right, Robert in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Hi there.
I have a question about fishing. I've retired for about a year and a half now and wanted to get back into it. And I just want to become a better fisherman. Are there sites, apps to connect me to other fishermen, or teach me how to fish, or where to fish?
That's funny. So have you ever fished?
For much, am I?
Have you ever fished before?
Yes, when I was a kid, basically.
Okay, so now you're like, okay, I am going to be a real fisherman. I'm going to be the best fisherman ever.
Right.
I just got a picture from a friend of mine who caught a 49.3 pound sea bass. I'm like, oh my gosh, off of Catalina Island in California. I'm like, that is it is the biggest fish I've ever seen. Okay, I'm not a good fisherman. I'm not the person to give you that advice. I've tried before, and I was learning how to fly fish in Montana, and I actually caught my ear, and I was like, okay, this is not the sport for Kim Commando. This is not. Let's not do it. There's an app called Fishbrain.
Okay.
And it's pretty popular. It helps you find fishing spots near you, and it has a great 5-star review. You get maps and forecasts and tools. And then there's this, you mentioned finding other fishermen. It has a community, they say, of 15 million fishermen. Wow. So if you're looking to find people to go fishing with, I think it would be it. They say also on this app that they can help you find where the fish may be, hanging out, and where you can get a nice catch.
Are there comparable apps to that are less expensive?
Why, have you looked at that one?
A little pricey. Yes.
How much are you looking at?
It's about $10 a month.
$10 a month, and you're going to find all the fish near you. I think that's worth it.
Well,
come on, you're going to.
You're the go-to person.
There are free fishing apps, but let me put together a list for you. I'll put them inside the free newsletter. I only quite frankly, know about Fishbrain. So do you get our free newsletter?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll post some links to some other free fishing apps. I might have to do some research. If you don't already get our newsletter, head over to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. Yeah, we cover it all in our free newsletter every single day. So let me ask you this, Robert, okay? What did the fisherman say to the magician? What did the fisherman say to the magician? You ready? Pick a cod, any cod. Okay.
Yeah, I enjoy corny jokes. I share them with my granddaughter.
Oh, here. This is one you can tell her. What did the fisherman say to the magician? Pick a cod. Any cod. Oh, we can squeeze in another call. Darlene in Oxnard, California.
Well, I just recently found a cassette tape from my brother's memorial service. He passed in 1989, and I thought I'd lost it forever. But I'd like to put it in something so his grown boys now can listen to it. and I don't know how to do that.
Wow. What a treasure you found, huh?
Yeah, it really is.
So sad, though. Really. Sorry. You know, and they say time heals, but I don't know. After it's, you know, I put some roses on my mother's grave today. And I thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like every day, you know, you think about it. But if you don't love, you don't hurt, right? That's what I keep telling myself. You know, that's just the way that it is. Now, the good news is that there are some really nifty gadgets right now that allow you to connect an adapter. You're going to put the cassette tape in an adapter and then connect that up to your computer via USB port, which is just beautiful. Okay. There's some software called Audacity, Audcity. And with Audacity, it's totally free. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get that cassette tape into the USB adapter. And then you're going to record what was on the cassette tape using the recording software. Okay.
Okay.
And these are like these standalone recorders. It's a really easy project. It's something it's not going to take you a lot of tech skills to get it done. And you just follow the instructions that come in the box. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold, Darlene. And then today we have our beautiful and lovely and talented Amber screening all of your calls. And she's going to send you a link out to one on Amazon where you can pick it up. If you need any help afterwards, know you can always count on us to walk you through it step by step along the way. Don't do what a lot of people do. They say, you know what, I don't want to deal with all these subscriptions. I'm just going to cancel the credit card that I know that I've been using for so long, and then all the subscriptions will just go away. Not so much. That's not anymore, because when you get rid of an old card, the new card is immediately associated with anything that was on the old card. So here's what you need to do. Contact your credit card issuer and ask to be removed from something called the account updater. The account updater. Because this way, when you get a new credit card, all the old stuff won't automatically be updated. Again, it's called the account updater, and you want to opt out of that one. Hey, don't forget winfromkim.com. That's where you can enter to win a brand new iPhone 15. Do it right now. winfromkim.com.
Thank you for listening to The Kim Commando Show. Here's hour 3.
I always like to kick things off with something that I found interesting. A new study from Western University in London, Ontario finds that if you love the sound of something in particular, you're probably a man and you have a higher chance of traits of psychopathy and sadism. Okay, what do you think that sound is? What do you think it is? A power drill? A lawnmower? Okay. No, it's this sound. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, well, let me tell you something. This is why sometimes these surveys, you can't believe anything. Okay, I love that sound. As a matter of fact, I have a little button in my new car that has exhaust, and I actually hit that button so that the car is louder. So, you know, I was reading this. I'm like, maybe I am a psychopath. I mean, what exactly is a psychopath? So I looked it up. Psychopaths often display a glib and superficial charm. That's not me. Prone to boredom. Ooh, not me. May engage in behavior that is unlawful. Not me. It says, but not all psychopaths engage in criminal activity. Some are able to function in society. Listen to this last part. Using their traits to succeed in various fields, including politics. Wow. That explains it. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kim Commando, America's beloved digital goddess. You know the drill. You tapped into the best show, the biggest show, most award-winning show, most trusted show about all things digital. You can tap into us on over 420 top stations across the United States. You can also get us as a commercial-free podcast as a perk of membership inside the Commando community, as well as you can get us commercial-free as a podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Just search for my last name, Commando, and make sure that you pick Kim Commando Show, because we also have Kim Commando Today. That's a whole nother podcast. Kim Commando Show. And a special hello goes out to all of our listeners in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and Space Force in 175 different countries joining us on the American Forces Network Radio. All right, you can count on me checking out at least 35 different websites every single day to bring you up to date with the top 5 things you need to know about tech right now. And let's start with ChatGPT. It's actually getting better all the time. One OpenAI exec, a guy by the name of Brad Lightcap, said this past week at a big-time conference, in the next couple of 12 months, I think even in the next few years, I think the systems that we use today will be laughably bad. They probably will be, but everyone's asking this question. How was OpenAI just able to bypass the big companies like Google and Apple and Amazon and Microsoft with their AI machines? Well, OpenAI has been guarded as to what data it used to train ChatGPT. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but it seems like they've ignored copyright laws. Docs in a lawsuit against OpenAI show the company destroyed 2 massive data sets used to train its ChatGPT-3 AI model. Named Books 1 and 2, you have to listen to this. The Authors Guild says it likely contained more than 100,000 books. It accounts for 16% of ChatGPT-3's training data. Now, this is the super interesting part about this. Okay. All the researchers, all the scientists, all the engineers that were responsible for creating the data sets that I just talked about. Think about this. All the people, they're gone. Poof, gone. OpenAI won't say what happened to them, why they're not working there anymore. How convenient. How convenient. Moving on to number 2. How would you feel knowing that key military systems used by the Air Force, the Army, and the Navy relied on fake Chinese Cisco networking equipment that they bought on eBay and Amazon and other websites? Yeah, it happened. A Florida man spending about 6.5 years in prison for selling fake Cisco networking gear to the military. Honora Sky made $100 million, managed to compromise classified systems used by the Air Force, the Army, and the Navy. We're talking about combat systems and all. The fake gear was hooked up to systems for F-15, F-22 fighter jets, Apache helicopters, even B-52 bombers. Wow. Yes, our military, they bought fake knockoffs of Cisco networking gear. They did on eBay. Wow. If you guys and gals are listening to the show, you need me to come down, give you a little, tutoring session on how to buy things online for cheap, I can help you out. Moving on to number 3, professional therapy, pricey with more than just your dollars and cents, also with your data. A lot of people are turning to these apps and online sites for therapy because it's easy. You don't have to go anywhere. You're telling them your deepest, darkest secrets. You trust them to not share anything because they took an oath, right? BetterHelp is a popular choice, but it has been discovered that BetterHelp sent user health data to social media platforms, nice, like Facebook and Snapchat. You ready for it? Targeted advertising, yes. The FTC is now stepping in, proposing a ban on sharing mental health data. It took you guys and gals too long. BetterHelp also has to pay $7.8 million to impacted users. If you want to learn more about that, we wrote about it in a newsletter the other day, and you can just search commando.com for BetterHelp. Moving on to number 4. Wow. Listen to this one. Everybody has a reaction to the name Elon Musk. Elon Musk. He's great. He's not. He's in trouble. He's not. He's wonderful. He's a genius. He's not. He's classy. He's not. Whatever it may be. A Wall Street guru with a well-known anti-Tesla stance predicted that Tesla is actually going to go bust. Just going to go out of business. Listen to this, though. Tesla just took all of its job postings offline. Yes, a major hiring freeze. On May 1st, there were over 3,000 jobs up on the Tesla website. Right now, there are only 3 openings. Yeah. Wow, big time hiring freeze there. And finally, this coming in at number 5. This is unbelievable. We have to go to North Carolina for this story. There, a woman by the name of Rhonda Deaver, she goes to Smith's Cafe in Kinston. She goes there after her doctor's appointment every single Tuesday. Last Tuesday was no different. She went to Smith's Cafe, she ate her lunch, she paid, and she started driving home when she got a phone call. that she had left her credit card at the cafe. So she turned around, was driving back to the cafe. When she got there, they said, "Oh, thank goodness that you're here. We've been trying to find you. We took a picture of the front and the back of your credit card, and we posted it to Facebook. Wow, is that how you found out?" So by the time she turned around and got back to the restaurant to pick up her credit card, over $2,000 in bogus charges on that credit card. Isn't that? Oh, what an idiot. Oh, let me put it up on Facebook. Maybe she'll find it and she'll come back. What a dope. All right, coming up, we're talking about how you can find spy cams with your phone. And also, it's a different idea why your home actually needs its own email address. Ali Seligman, our amazing content queen, is going to be joining us. We're going to talk about influencer marketing. And of course, we have all of your phone calls, and you have me, Kim Komando. Hey, if you haven't done it already, make sure that you go to winfromkim.com because that's where you can enter to win a brand new iPhone 15. We're going to be giving it away in just a few weeks. That's winfromkim.com. And you could be the winner, winfromkim.com. All right, how about we start with Pamela in Fountain Valley, California. Hi there, Pam.
My husband and I are launching a new business. And in the process, we know, of course, that we need to set up social media, even though we both dislike social media a great deal.
I know, you need to be there.
It's really a must for business and engaging with potential customers. So the problem I'm really trying to solve here is I've set up these social media handles, usernames across different social media platforms, but I keep hearing horror stories from other business owners, from people who say they've used Facebook, for example, and they just get shut down. Or closed out, and then they have to start all over. So my question to you really is there a website, a tech resource that we can go to, because I can find all kinds of people who will do social media marketing for us for a fee, of course, but I'm looking for someone who can go in and say, yep, you've set this up great, it looks good, and here's some resources to keep you up to date so that you don't fall into
a trap.
Trap, right?
I get that.
And go down the rabbit hole.
Okay, so Pam, you sent me an email and you sent me links. And I saw them. I don't want you to give out the name of your Facebook page or anything like that, but I will tell you it stinks.
Oh, really?
Yes, because it has a whole bunch of letters that you can't say.
Okay.
And the problem with that is that you won't be able to get on a podcast, on a TV show, in conversation and say, follow me at facebook.com/ whatever it is,
blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't do that. So number one, we need to change all that. And I know you use the letters because I looked at the Facebook page. You got a nice picture of like a middle America house there. You know what I mean?
Right.
On the right-hand side, facing out. But you need to come up with something different, something that is memorable. You're in the real estate business. You can't use this, but here in Phoenix, we have 72 sold. Okay, think about that. 72 sold.
Okay.
I mean, you need something that means something to somebody, not a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo letters, .life. Okay, that's just not going to work. All right? So that's number one. Don't mean to burst your bubble, and I know you guys and gals, you're like,
problem. I'm totally open.
You're probably like, oh, God, Kim, my husband and I, we worked like days on this. I know, sorry. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is, I always am a firm believer that you cannot hire somebody to do something unless you have a basis of understanding, because you don't know if they're going to BS you or not. So in order to do this, you need to get a little bit into social media marketing. And you can go on Udemy, you can go on YouTube, and I want you to watch some videos. How do I promote my business on social media? How do I buy ads on social media? What should my Facebook page look like? How many times should I post a day on Instagram? 2 times. Pinterest, of course, X, Twitter, whatever it may be. Google My Business. You need to set that up, and then also put on Yelp and any place where you have your business in a directory. You need to make sure that you have a bona fide, same address, even down to the suite number and the phone number. Even if there's an extension, it has to be the same or else it's going to be a red flag. So you're going to spend a week or so immersing yourself into understanding the terminology, getting yourself familiar with this, because you have a certain skill set in real estate. Now we're going to put that skill set in social media, but you have to know a little bit. That said, how do you find somebody to help you on social media? You know who does my social media? My son.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. I put him to work. He's going to law school.
You bet.
And I said, you know what, buddy? While you're going to law school, guess what? Okay. Mom needs some help. Help the family. And he's like, sure. But there's probably somebody around you who can do this and help you, who you trust. Because you don't want I don't want you to just go hire somebody because they're going to steal from you. Okay.
They will.
Okay.
I know this.
Okay. So maybe there's another realtor who's not a competitor. Maybe there's your hairstylist. There's somebody around you, a surgeon, a dentist. Everybody does social media. There's somebody who is not in a big Fortune 500 company who says, you know what? I know I'm using Ian. I'm using Kip. I'm using Mia, whoever it is.
Right.
Okay. And then, of course, if you can't find anybody, then there are websites like Upwork and Fiverr. But
familiar with Fiverr,
But I'm always hesitant to go there. And let me just give you an insight into my life. You know that newsletter you talked about? Okay. I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but how great is that newsletter?
Oh, gosh. I love that newsletter. I get something out of it every day.
Okay. Did you get our newsletter?
I love to put these little snippets and send them off to family members and other people we know, just because they're great little nuggets.
Now, did you get our newsletters in the past?
I've had it for, probably maybe 6 months.
Okay, all right. So you didn't get the other ones that were crappy. All right. That's what I just wanted to know. Okay, because last year they were crappy, and I totally blew them up, and I redid them. And in March, we had a couple of 100,000 subscribers, and now we have, in about 4 or 5 months, we have 600,000 subscribers.
That's fabulous.
Thank you. But in order to do this, I had to become an expert at newsletters.
Yes.
Make sense?
It totally makes sense. Now, did you go ahead and just keep the old newsletter out there until you were ready to make the shift? You shut it down?
No. I kept them out there.
You kept it out there?
Yes. And we went from sending 14 newsletters a day to 2 a day. And our growth is, as I mentioned, is phenomenal. And what's nice is that all the great feedback that we're getting and all the great advertisers who are coming forth. So here's your method.
Okay.
Is that you've got to go become an expert, not a bona fide expert, but you need to know about social media before you can market on social media. You need to get on social media. You need to follow your competitors. You need to see what they're doing. What are they doing on YouTube? What are they doing on TikTok? So become that expert, and then you can find somebody who can help you. And then just keep in mind, I want you to call me back and let me know how you're doing in 30 days. Make a note, 30 days, call Kim Commando, because I want to hear how you're doing. Pam, thank you for your call. Okay, summer vacation is right around the corner, and you need a strategy to get the cheapest airfare. Okay, start your airline search at Google Flights. That's what I do. Simple to use. You can have a ton of options to select from, such as the number of stops. But there are a few secrets. Make sure that you select track prices. So this way you get automatic email updates when the price does drop. There's also a price graph that you can see the flight's cost each day into the future. You also might want to check out Skyscanner and Kayak. Both sites work very much like Google Flights, and they're going to send you alerts too when the price drops. Now, your final stop should be on the airline's website. Now, of course, use any reward points if you can. Look for stopover opportunities. What? Yeah, Hawaiian Airlines, for example, gives you a free stopover in Honolulu on each leg, whether outbound or return. And then you want to look at all of your options. It's really a great time for you to find that summer trip. That's what I'm going to be doing this weekend. I don't know where I'm going yet. If you have suggestions, let me know. All right, coming up, we have some great tips about how to find spy cams with your phone. And also, it's something that I have and you should too. And it has to do with your house and email. That's all I'm going to tell you. It's like one of these hooks to make sure that you listen all the way to the end. All right, joining us right now is our amazing content queen at commando.com and the current newsletter, Ali Seligman. Hello there, Al.
Hi, Kim.
You know, when you ask young adults and kids what they want to be when they grow up, I know. They're saying, I want to be an influencer.
I used to be, a fireman, a doctor, a teacher. I wanted to be a teacher when I was a little kid.
Did you?
Yeah.
When did you change into journalism?
When I realized that I don't have patience for little kids.
That would be, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Did I ever tell you why I picked computer science?
I remember your dad making you do a report, right?
Yes, my dad made me do a report. And he said, I want to know who makes the most money when they get out of college. Okay.
That's a pretty smart tactic.
Yeah, it was. And
Good on him.
And so I had to do this whole report, and I emailed it to him, and then I had to explain the report to him. And then I said, oh, by the way, number 1 on the list is computer science, and I'm changing my major.
Well, that worked. Well done, Dad. Yeah, so all these kids who want to be influencers because they see people on their social media, right, and think, oh my gosh, I'm going to be this person with 5 million followers.
For sure.
Yeah, you get paid tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars a post. I'm going to be a millionaire. It turns out 54% of people who call themselves content creators, so who are doing this like full-time or close to it, make less than $10,000 a year on it.
Oh, wait, say that again. 50 what percent?
54% make less than $10,000 a year at it. So many of these people probably have side jobs, probably are doing other things, probably are not as successful as you think.
Yeah, but they make it seem like they're successful.
Well, of course.
I always like when they go behind the scenes on some of these pictures.
Yeah.
And it's like, you see somebody like they're looking at out an airplane window, and you're thinking like, oh, they're going to some exotic location, and then they zoom out and you can see like they're holding up a toilet seat.
They're actually just flying to what's the cheapest flight I can get next door.
But also in LA, in some of the smaller airports around Los Angeles, you can actually go and they rent jets by like 15-minute increments.
No way.
So that if you're an influencer and you want to like pretend you're on a Gulfstream or something, you get all dolled up, right? And you go out to the airport and you sit there with your drink or whatever, and then you tell all of your followers like, yeah, this is me. This is me.
See, and these are the things like, yeah, I could go buy, I don't know, a $15,000 ring and take some pictures and then return it. Right?
For
you
sure.
never know if what you're seeing online is real. And I think this is a really good case of, okay, you might want a backup plan and probably don't put all your eggs in the influencer basket, kids. So how do influencers make money? There's a whole new report it's actually from a company we work with called ConvertKit. I'm not going to get too deep into this because hopefully somebody from ConvertKit is going to come talk to you on the podcast about this. 24% said the easiest way I make money as a creator is creating digital products. Okay, this is actually a really good idea if you have a business or a skill or something that other people might be willing to pay for. An example, let's say you are a real estate agent and maybe you are so good at doing the prep, right, for a house, getting the house ready, people love it, you always are the one that everybody else is jealous of. Why don't you write up a PDF? Okay, put it on your website, sell it for $3. I bet people would buy it.
And it doesn't have to be really long.
No, it doesn't. And there are so many tools now that make designing stuff like this really easy. So even if you're like, well, Allie, I don't even know, go to canva.com. There's going to be a free template. You can design that thing and then cool, send it to all your real estate friends.
You know what? You just reminded me. I have to talk to my sister about this, Christine. My sister has the school in Orange County.
Oh my gosh, this would be great for her.
And I keep telling her you need to have a book. You need to have a book. And she's like one of these people, like for her to write a book that she's thinking that book has to be like 4,000 pages.
Yes, it has to be perfect. It has to be every idea she's ever had. No, start small. I think that's a really good way too to get yourself, as somebody who's written a whole lot.
Right.
Sometimes taking a smaller chunk of something is a lot easier than saying, okay, great, I'll write my whole life story. Maybe just write like this much, right? Tiny little bit.
You know what? And you can throw it on your website, your blog,
yes,
your Facebook,
yes,
but get it up on Amazon.
Totally. And even if you're not going to sell it, maybe you think, who would buy this? Okay, you can put it on your website and say, give me your email address. And you can have this for free.
Which is something that we're going to start doing.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
Okay, some other ways to make money, though, because, again, we don't want to just rely on influencer in quotes, right? I think this is not going to last as a profession in the way that it is now for all these jokesters online. So if you have a brick and mortar shop, you can be an Amazon Hub delivery partner. This one is actually really cool. So they say businesses can make an extra $27,000 a year.
Maybe we should do that.
I mean, maybe. What you have to do essentially is let them drop off packages, and then people who work for you go deliver them on the course of, doing the other things they are for their business. So maybe you have a bakery and you're taking orders out. Okay, drop off some Amazon packages on the way because you're already out there, right?
But you know what? That makes complete sense. Dry cleaners, right?
Yeah.
Anybody who you have to deliver something on a regular basis, you could just have a route.
Absolutely. Yeah. One that I have tried, this is a good, anybody can do it from anywhere. There are so many of these sites, but the only one I have found actually works. It's called User Interviews. So this is one of those sites where you sign up to say, yeah, sure, I'll take your survey. I'll talk to somebody on the phone for 10 minutes about whatever. I did one of these recently. It was about public transportation in Phoenix, which I don't take, but I spent 10 minutes on the phone with this guy and got a $40 Amazon gift card.
Did you? How did you find out about this?
From a friend, actually. So we have written about user interviews, and I filled out a profile and I never got accepted for any. And so I thought, well, maybe this is fake. Turns out if someone you know has an account and they use it, if they refer you to one of the studies, you're automatically going to get in. And that way you have some stuff on your profile and you'll start getting them on your own.
Well, they've been trying to fix public transportation forever in Phoenix because it's horrible. It is.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not good.
Yeah. And one more, if you have some extra room, I like this one because we all probably have a garage we don't use or that we could clear out. Maybe you have a backyard that you're just not home and not using. People will rent your space. No kidding. One of the companies is called Sniff Spot. That is like Airbnb, but for people who want a place to go take their dog. So maybe there's somebody that doesn't want to go to a dog park for whatever reason. Okay, cool. They can rent your yard by the hour and you don't even have to be there, which is pretty cool. Swimply is one where you can rent out your pool. We are coming up to Swimply season. Kim, I assume we'll see your pool on there soon, right?
Probably not.
Okay, probably not.
Okay.
But maybe you live in Phoenix, you leave for the summer because it's so hot. All right, rent out your pool. Why not?
Well, you can also rent out your driveway.
You sure can.
You can rent out your bike.
You can rent out pretty much anything.
Tools.
Yeah, if you have a commercial space, you could rent it out for events. Yeah, maybe you could start hosting weddings. There you go. I just made you $20,000.
We could have weddings here in the lobby.
Oh my gosh, we do have the beautiful lighting.
People would be so excited for that.
They could play air hockey.
Yeah, they could. You want to know something funny? I didn't tell you this. So I had to take an Uber to work, I don't know, about a week or so ago.
Okay.
And so I got out of the Uber and there was a guy taking a picture of himself, like a selfie with our sign in front.
The sign with the picture of you.
Yes. And so I get out and he looks at me and he's like shocked. He's like, oh. And I looked at him and I said, hey, how are you? And he's like, I don't know what to, that's you. And I thought, if he didn't act like a little weird, I actually would have probably walked over.
Taken a selfie with him.
But I was like, okay.
Bye. Have a good day.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. Well, if you want links for any of these things, if you thought, oh my gosh, I would love to make $27,000 a year with Amazon, we're going to put all these links in the newsletter. So go to, what link are we doing today, Kim?
Oh, we can do Get Kim.
Okay. Go to getkim.com. You can sign up for the current. We send it once a day. I think it's a really good newsletter, and not just because I work on it.
Well, we also have, how many positive reviews? 209,000 positive reviews?
So many, yeah.
Okay, I mean, because I did all the math.
You did, big math.
And I was so excited. I'm like, wait, we have a 4.88 star rating out of 5.
It's exciting stuff.
It is very exciting. All right, I always like to leave on a happy note. Okay, what's the difference between a social media influencer and a philosophy major? What's the difference between a social media influencer and a philosophy major? What is the difference?
What is it?
The philosophy major needed a degree to be useless.
Oh, ouch.
I know. That was bad. All right. Make sure that you get the newsletter. As always, getkim.com. And also, as always, Allie, great job.
Thanks.
All right. Ever have the feeling that something or someone's watching you? Spy devices could be anywhere. Thanks to tech, these cameras are so small. So where are the top spots to check? Electrical outlets, smoke detectors, even TV remotes can have a hidden spy cam. Now, you can use your phone to spot the creepy cams. You're going to open your phone's camera app, switch to the front-facing camera, turn off the lights, walk around. If you see any white flashes, that could be a hidden camera's infrared light. Or you could just buy an RF detector like the anti-spy detector on Amazon. It's about $40. Now, one thing, you have to turn off all your electrical devices first in order to use that. And if you do find something, just call the police. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls as well as a great tip at the end for your house here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, back to the phones we go with Alondra from Bakersfield, California. Glad to have you with us.
So I recently purchased a camera.
Okay.
It is a Nikon D5600.
Beautiful. That's a nice camera.
Thank you. So I am a volunteer for our local Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And so I thought, since I visit local businesses and I take photos of their business as well as their product, I wanted something with high quality. So I purchased this camera.
For sure.
Well, now I am trying to figure out how to transfer my videos from the camera to my iPhone. I was able to transfer my photos, but not videos. So
yeah, the videos the videos are a little tough. How are you getting the photos over there?
Through an app. It's called. One second.
Is it the Nikon wireless mobile app?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's called Snap Bridge.
Okay. All right.
And so it's super simple. I just take the photos and it automatically transfers the photos.
Excellent.
To the app.
Now, when you get them on your iPhone, is that where you're doing all the photo editing?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. So here's what you're going to do. You need to buy one little thing. Okay. And you're like, oh my gosh, I got to buy one more thing. I know. It's like, it never stops. You might as well just know this. I mean, at some point you're going to be like, okay, well, now I need a MacBook or now I need a Chromebook or whatever it may be. Because you're like, it's like this disease. As soon as you start buying one piece of tech, you got to keep adding to it. What you're going to buy is, it's the wireless mobile adapter. Okay.
Yes.
And what it does, it's going to plug directly into the Nikon camera, and it's going to create a Wi-Fi connection that your iPhone can connect to directly. See, what you're running into is with the videos, it's just too much data, too much stuff that you're trying to transfer. Yeah. Okay, so again, you're gonna do you have a pen? You can write this down or put this in a note on your phone. It's a WU-1A. I know it's like. I didn't name it. Yeah, WU-1A. And so it's the wireless mobile adapter that Nikon puts out. And so basically, as I mentioned, you're just going to insert this into the camera's USB port. And then you're going to go into your iPhone under Wi-Fi, and then you're going to connect to it. It's going to say the WU-1A that I just mentioned. And then you're going to open the Nikon app on your phone. And then that's how you can browse and transfer both the photos and the videos from your camera to your iPhone. Because it's just, like I said, you're trying to do it one way and it's working. But again, when we start talking about videos, that data is just like way too much. And don't forget, now that you have all those videos on your phone, it's just going to totally consume your iPhone storage. So you're going to have to start thinking about where can you put all these photos and videos. Okay, you can, of course, put them in your iCloud account. You're probably going to have to buy more storage there. You might want to think about transferring all these photos over to Google, so you have a Google Photos account. And then a lot of people don't realize that if you have an Amazon Prime account, you also have free photo and video storage there. You're like, what? I didn't even know that was a possibility. Yes. So you've got all these different options. So just don't be surprised, Alondra, that as soon as you start putting those videos on, your iPhone's going to go, oh, I've eaten too much. You're just taking way too much space. Thanks for your call today. Let's see who's next. Michael in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello there, Michael.
Well, I had a question about identity theft protection. I am currently a customer of LifeLock and have been for about 6 years.
Sure.
But they changed ownership, as I'm sure you're aware of, and my customer experience, I would say, is not satisfactory. So I was wondering if you could recommend an alternative.
Well, there are different identity theft services out there, and of course, LifeLock, now owned by Norton, is probably still the biggest one that's available. If you don't want to pay for this, there are things that you can do before we talk about options. You can freeze your credit, and you have to do that on the 3 credit bureaus, and we've got steps on how to do that over on the website. But if you are truly concerned about your identity, and if you don't want to play with the big boys anymore, the LifeLocks of the world, there's a company called Identity Guard. They do basically the same thing: monitoring, alerts, identity theft. They do credit monitoring. They have fraud resolution, and they used to be a sponsor of the show, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and they're still out there and full force. So if you're looking for an option for identity theft, just take a look at Identity Guard. There's also Identity Force, by the way. Identity Guard, Identity Force, and then consider freezing your credit. And again, we've got the steps on how to do that. What that means is that nobody's able to get any type of credit information about you because your credit report is frozen. And when you do get a request, you have to unfreeze it, or if you're going to apply for a mortgage or a credit card or whatever, is that you go ahead and you open your credit card up for your credit report, rather, for a particular time, say 24, 48 hours, and then you lock that sucker back down. Hey, Michael, thank you so much for your call today. What you want to do is get an email address for your house because it lets you track everything from property taxes to major projects all in one place. You can even use your home's email address for its own Pinterest account, right? So you start by creating a brand new email address. The simplest way is to use Gmail, and there just use the plus sign trick for an instant free email address. You can just add the plus sign with the word home before the @ sign with your current Gmail address, and then all the messages will come right there. Make an email filter that puts your home's email into a separate mailbox folder. Just going to round up all the emails there. But here's the deal, is that anytime you sign up for anything, you can just use the home's email address, and then it goes right into that folder. For more tricks and tips like this, make sure that you do get our free newsletter. Sign up now at getkim.com.
Thanks for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's Hour 4.
I always like to kick things off with something fun and super interesting. Oh my gosh, I just looked at my Chrome browser. I had about 25 different tabs open in the browser. I do this because I just keep opening up one thing after another thing, after another thing, after another thing. But that's nothing compared to Hazel. Oh my gosh, this is all over the internet. I don't know if you saw it, but Hazel is a software engineer, and she is a self-professed tab hoarder. Okay, she shared a screenshot on X with nearly 7,500 tabs open on her Firefox browser. Whoa, what's going on? Yeah, over the last 2 years. And so she was like, how come, things are crashing? Well, the exact number is 7,470 Firefox tabs. In case you're wondering, it only takes 70 megabytes of memory. But she likes to be able to go back in time and see where she was 6 months ago or 3 months ago or whatever it may be. Sounds a little strange. So if you're like Hazel, here's a magical keystroke just for you. Command-Shift-W if you're on a Mac. That's Control-Shift-W if you're on Windows. What does that do? Automatically closes all your browser tabs. Love that. And that's just an example of the transference of intellect and fun that happens here on the Kim Komando Show, because after all, I'm America's beloved digital goddess, and you're about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing is now a tech thing. And if you're a brand new listener to the show, welcome. So glad to have you with us. And if you're already a listener, welcome back. You look amazing. Oh my gosh, have you lost some weight? Yes, I knew that you did. Now you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top stations across the United States. You can find us streaming as a podcast, as a webcast over inside the Komando community. And just a reminder that you can also get the Kim Komando Show commercial free on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And yes, I did say commercial free. Now, from each and every one of you, I need two things. Number one, I need you to tell one person about the show. That's the easiest and the best way for us to continue to grow the show. And number two, tell me what you want to hear more about. Just head over to the website, komando.com. That's the official homepage, of course, with a K. And there's a link at the top that says Email Kim. Alrighty, then every single day I go to at least, I don't know, I'm probably like Hazel. Go to all these different websites, keep those tabs open, at least 35 or 40 to make sure that we're both up to date on all things digital. And here are the top 5 things you need to know about tech. It's happening right now. We're going to start with number 1. COVID, long gone. It's over. So the question is, can employers fire workers who refuse to come back in the office? Okay. Well, I know you can say, well, I like working from home or I'm more productive at the office, but study after study proves that companies actually work more effectively with people back in the office. And that's why companies everywhere are mandating these return to work policies. And they have been. So we're talking about Disney, Amazon, Apple, IBM, Citibank, Google, even my company. Well, here's what's going on in Connecticut. An office worker with a heart problem and anxiety was fired, even with his doctor's note, after refusing to come back to the office. And now he's suing. Now, it's noteworthy that before COVID, he had these heart conditions and everything else. He had no problem going back to work. So this lawsuit is just one of many that's being filed across the country. It's not a slam dunk for the employer, so it's definitely one for us to watch. Moving on to number 2, no one is ready to say that Tesla is in over its head, at least not yet. But a new and different investigation into the failure of Tesla's self-driving mode, the resulting injuries, deaths, property damage, is casting the shadow over the company. You see, until now, Tesla has faced only a few civil suits resulting from its autopilot crashes and deaths. Now, the feds have provided really only a slap in Tesla's face by warning drivers that, hey, the autopilot isn't exactly safe. But now federal prosecutors are thinking that Tesla committed wire and securities fraud by misleading not only its customers, but also its investors with false reports about the capabilities of Tesla's self-driving capabilities. So if they're able to charge the company with a deception to lure investors and in the process pump up the stock, that's serious business. That actually could send someone to jail. All right, moving on to number 3, let's talk about your Apple Watch. Apple stands accused of basically stealing the tech that is inside the Apple Watch used to measure your body's vital blood oxygen levels. Well, that particular Apple Watch feature has been disabled because they're trying to figure out who owns what and probably who to pay off who. But good news for both Apple and heart patients worldwide. You see, millions of Americans have been diagnosed with AFib. Millions more have it, and they just don't know it. AFib increases the risk of stroke and even death. And from the beginning, Apple claimed that its watch could detect if you were experiencing AFib, and if so, can send that electrocardiogram right to your doctor. Until now, it's really only been a marketing point, but this is big news. The FDA just gave the green light for clinical trials to see just how good the Apple Watch really is. So if it does pass FDA clearance, what does this mean to you? Okay, you might be able to get your insurance to pay for a new Apple Watch for you. All right, moving on to number 4. When it first appeared, say 20 years ago, LinkedIn was this professional site, anything but cool. But suddenly, LinkedIn has become a genuine hotspot where everyone wants to be a work fluencer, a thought leader, a LinkedIn superstar. Yes. And to help them get there, the market for paid freelance LinkedIn profile ghostwriters is just booming. So LinkedIn is now in the coveted 1 billion users club. Wow. Some LinkedIn influencers have tens of millions of followers, but they didn't get there alone. Behind the scenes, many work fluencers, that's what they're calling themselves, hire an army of freelance ghostwriters to boost their profiles and to come up with their LinkedIn posts. Now, the reason why I'm passing this along is that if you're planning to hire someone that you saw on LinkedIn because you said, oh my gosh, their writing is so engaging and dynamic, think again. Do your homework to make sure that there's not a ghost behind every single thing that they've written. Oh, on a completely different note, do you know that LinkedIn is now one of the hottest dating sites? Yes, I was talking to one of the young women here at the studios, and she said, yeah, she goes, at least you know that they have a job. It's like, yeah, there is that. All right, finally this, coming in at number 5. Here's how you fix almost any tech device. Could be your iPhone, your laptop, your router, your TV, even your home appliance. When something doesn't work, say it just goes sideways, and they always do, no matter who you call for help, the very first question is going to be, have you tried turning it off and then turning it back on? I know you're like, oh, I did that already. You did that already. But, you really didn't. But you don't want to tell the IT person that. So you're like, oh, yeah, I tried that. Well, here's the deal. About 95% of the time, it just works. Here's why. Every tech device requires at least some computer memory deep inside. Now, the longer that this gadget or gizmo runs without a restart, the more cluttered that memory becomes. Then you have bits and pieces of software problems. So you turn it off for just a few seconds and then back on. It just wipes out all that memory and think of the device. It just gets a fresh start. So the next time someone asks you, If you know how to fix their gadget problem, you may just be their hero if you remember this question. Have you tried turning it on and off? Have you tried that? All right, coming up. Oh, wow, this is a great tip. You're going to love it. How you can buy unclaimed USPS and Amazon packages. We're also going to talk about tinfoil. Yeah, not a tinfoil hat. I'm talking about putting tinfoil around your keys. And also how to record on your phone in the event of an emergency. This is something that you need to know. Oh, and travelers, there's a TSA scam. I need to warn you about that too. And of course, we have all of your great phone calls. And you have me, Kim Komando. Okay, say it with me right now. Winfromkim.com. Winfromkim.com. Come on, one more time. Winfromkim.com. Okay, the reason why I want you to remember that address is because that's where you can win great stuff from the show, from me. And right now, we're giving away a brand new iPhone 15 valued at $799. So if you go to winfromkim.com, you just give us your email address, then you're entered to win that iPhone. Now, what's the catch? The catch is that you have to get at least a few issues of my free newsletter, which you're going to love, okay? We're talking about device advice, tech news, scam alerts, security alerts, dark web alerts. I mean, it's all boiled into one great newsletter that over 500,000 people love every single day. So go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. All right, let's see. Tom in Columbia, South Carolina. You're our first caller today. Hi there, Tom.
Finally. I've been listening to you. I'm not going to tell you how many years, show my age, but Kim, there's a website called TEMU, unbelievable prices. There's no way they could make a profit. I did order something from them. It came in, but now I'm afraid they've got my information. I'm sure it's Chinese based, and I'm worried. Should I be worried?
Well, it's called Temu. That's what it's called. What did you buy?
I bought a little socket thing and caulking for a bathtub, caulking strip.
Okay. Is it okay? Is it good quality or?
Yeah. I was really surprised at the price. I mean, they lost when they shipped it to me. I mean, it wasn't but a $7 order.
And see, here's the thing. What's happening is that Temu, a lot of people are shopping on Temu because the prices are incredibly low. The quality is average. You're not going to get great stuff. And it does come directly from China, so it takes a while for you to get it. So we're not talking about overnight shipping or same-day delivery from Amazon. But what Temu does is it's making money other ways, and it's making money with your data. So, like, for example, you could have your fingerprint and your face scan if you used it on your phone. It could have access to your camera, your GPS location, your photos, whatever it may be. It has access to your private conversation with friends, if you logged into your bank account, if your passwords, your credit card info. I mean, basically what Temu does is it gets everything that it can. Now, Temu is also related to another company that is called Pinduoduo, which is a holding company that, guess what? They're all based in, you said it, China. Okay. So when you're using Temu, you're getting low prices, but you know nothing in life is free or cheap, right? So in return, it's also collecting a lot of your data that's going to be shared with communist China. That's just the way it is. Okay. So, a lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, so but it's such great prices and such this." It's like okay, yeah, okay, it is, but if you're okay with everything in your phone or your computer going to communist China, I guess you'd be all right with using it. But now Temu says that they've gone in front of Washington and said, "Oh no, that's not us. We don't do that. We store things locally, just like TikTok." Okay, TikTok is another one. Okay, so is ByteDance. ByteDance is owned by TikTok is owned by ByteDance. Pardon me. You have Lemonade and CapCut, Cam Scanner, Shein, Turbo VPN is also a Chinese VPN. WeChat, UC Browser. There's also a program called Share It. These are all Chinese-owned companies. And, you know, and a lot of people will say to me, Tom, well, what's the big deal? What's the big deal that China has all my information? You know, what is it? Well, you know, okay, they're building a profile on every single American that they can. Okay. So that's a big deal. But I'll tell you what my real concern is. Of course, they're building a profile. And they know exactly where we're located and who we're just seeing and who we're talking to and whatever it may be. But my concern is a bigger picture. Because imagine this, Tom. What if communist China wanted to do something evil? Not that they would ever do that, right? Okay. But let's say they just woke up one day and said, we're not going to be the nice people that we are anymore, right? So if they have TikTok on 150 million American phones, which they have, and I don't know how many Temu accounts are on these phones as well. But just imagine for just a moment, Tom, the chaos that would be ensnarled across our entire country, the riots, people scrambling, the murders, accidents. If they were to just use this power that they have on 150 million American phones to put out a message that says, North Korea is sending a nuke bomb right now to the United States. You need to be with your family. Okay?
And it's not illegal?
Okay, so I don't care that they have your biometrics. I don't use it. Okay? I'm really concerned about the power that they have to take over the power grid, to do denial of service attacks, to do anything that they want, because now they have complete and full access to these phones. Now, whether or not they're going to do it, I hope not. I don't hear anybody in Washington talking about it, other than they keep saying that we need to get China out of our midst. We need to make sure that TikTok doesn't have all the controls that they have, and people in the military shouldn't be using Temu, and people in the military shouldn't be using TikTok. That's already calmed down. And, but I'm hoping my military servicemen and women, they're smarter than a lot of people that and I know that are walking around the streets, half-brained and half-drugged up or whatever's wrong with them, right? So I probably went on a tangent, and I'm sorry for that. But
well, you sound like I should be contacting my representatives in Washington.
I think you should be. I think that's what I've been working on, that behind the scenes myself with our representatives, because I don't know if they fully comprehend the power that we have given our adversaries by allowing these apps to become just a normal day-to-day operation. And also not for nothing, but the productivity hit that we're taking with people spending 4 hours a day on TikTok. Please, there is more to life. There is, than just watching videos. Tom, thank you for your call today. If you want to know more about Temu, in case you want to share it with your representative, I've got a lot of information posted over at commando.com. Just search for Temu. That's Temu. And then you'll see some articles that I've written for USA Today, and I've also written them for our website as well. And again, Tom, thank you for your call. Hey, listen, I love to help everybody out. And so if you're sitting there saying, oh, Kim, I have a question for you about my digital life, about my business, whatever it may be, just don't sit there and don't leave it on social media. Yeah, I want you to go to this one place. Go to commando.com, and then there's a link that says email Kim. I read every single note that you send me there. Every single note. Every single one. And right now, somebody's going to say, oh, tell me if you get this one, Kim Commando. I don't believe you. Okay, I don't respond to those. I don't play games. I don't have time for that. Again, go to commando.com and hit that link that says email Kim. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. Do you ever wonder what happens to orders at the USPS or Amazon they just can't deliver? Well, it gets sold online, often at really cheap prices. Now, there are a few websites where you can bid on what's called unclaimed packages. One of the websites is govdeals.com, which they have contracts with the USPS to auction undelivered goods. Now, you're not bidding on some mystery box. You don't even know what's in there. You actually see a photo and a description of each item. Now, another website to check is liquidation.com. Now, the great thing about this site is that you can actually filter by brand or by retailer. And they've got all the big brands there. Talking about Home Depot, Walmart, Target, and of course, Amazon. Now, in the auction details, you get a brief description when the auction's closing. Some products that you're bidding on have been returned. They may not be in great condition. And once you buy something, just know there's no way for you to return it. Okay, you cannot return your purchased unreturned goods. Those sites again, govdeals.com and liquidation.com. All right, still to come, quick tip on how to record video in the event of emergency on your phone here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, there's a major TSA scam I need to warn you about because, after all, vacation season is here, or maybe in your case, my case, right around the corner, hopefully sometime this summer. And of course, we have all of your phone calls. But before we get to all of that, true or false? Listen closely. True or false? Wrapping the keys to your car in aluminum foil is a great idea. Is that true or is that false? Okay, let me tell you. Here's the scoop. If you have a fairly recent car, the days of fumbling with your car keys are over because now we have key fobs. These are remote keyless systems or electronics that are built into the car, recognizes the radio signals coming from a fob. So as long as the key fob is a few yards away from the car, you can use the fob to unlock the car, open the trunk, close the windows, even start the car. In my case, when I get close to my new car, is that it actually just unlocks the car automatically. I don't even have to hit the button anymore. Now, the problem with all these whiz-bang electronics is that car thieves can buy inexpensive signal boosters. Okay, here's why, and here's what they're doing with them. Even though your keys are in your house, thieves can remotely unlock your car, start it, and then drive away. You wouldn't even know. So what can you do? You can block your key fob signal so that the signal booster won't work with it. So the answer is true. You can wrap your car keys in aluminum foil and that fob. Better yet, here's what I've done, is that you line a small box with foil and then you put that where you would normally put your keys. And since foil is a conductor of electricity, it blocks the radio waves and will stop those car thieves. And I know some people say, like, well, can I put my car keys in the microwave? You can, but just remember that they're there. A friend of mine actually puts her car keys, I'm not talking about her car keys, but I mean her fob, inside the refrigerator, because she's like, when she gets milk in the morning for her coffee, she's like, oh, there are my keys. I'm like, okay, whatever floats your boat. Let's see. Susan in Seattle, Washington, glad to have you with us.
My parents used to live with me, and recently, because of just finances and things, we had to move them to a care home, which has like a max of 6 residents, and they have one caregiver assigned for 24 hours, and they do have people. There's just a lot of appointments that get made, and sometimes I make appointments for them. And so my question is there some kind of software that, and also sometimes I'm wondering, like, when did they have a shower or how much did they eat? I don't want to pester the caregivers and bother them because they're busy, just to get a sense, like, some kind of software that, could be used, that we could all input information in so we could check, oh, they can't have that appointment because there's already one on that day. And sometimes these physical therapy appointments get made the day of, and then they show up 3 hours later, and it's like, oh, okay, we were just out the door for another appointment.
Yes, it's like, we need some more communication here. So it's a small home, only 6 residents, right?
Right.
Are they using any type of management software now?
I think they are, and it's probably just for the staff, but there's still, and they have a lot of good things going for them. I mean, I love this beautiful place, but there's things that just get missed, and I just feel like if there's something the family could be part of as well.
It's like, it's your mom and dad, right? And you want to make sure that they're okay,
right?
And you want to get peace of mind too. And it's it's a difficult transition. I've been there. It's very, very difficult because it's like because you knew how you would care for them, and you expect that level of care, and and you want to make sure that they are doing that because it's like I said, it's your parents, right? I mean, it's just this whole respect and care and love that puts you into this place that you probably didn't expect to be, say, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, right?
Right.
And you still want them to have a sense of independence. What I would do is I'd go to the care facility and explain to them, obviously, maybe you've already done this, my concerns, the transparency that I want to see with my parents. I want to know when they have eaten. I want to be able to help you pick their meals because I know what they like and what they don't like. And as far as these appointments go, is that we need to have more communication. I understand about the physical therapy because that used to happen to me and my mom too. It'd be like, she's like, physical therapy is coming at 2:00. And I'm like, yeah, but we're supposed to be at the Mayo Clinic at 1:30. Okay, so I'm not really sure how we're going to be able to do this. So we have to move one thing. And I think we have to move the physical therapy instead of the Mayo appointment because it's so much more difficult to get that Mayo appointment. So barring that, if their system won't allow you to log in, is that there are other systems that they might want to look at. The one that I have some familiarity with is called Point Click Care. It's Point Click Care. I don't know what the financial arrangement, what they cost, or what they would charge for a 6-person facility versus a 50-person facility, or whatever it may be. But that's the one that I have some familiarity with. That I was able to see what exactly was going on with my mom at any particular moment. Now, barring that, if that doesn't work, you could always set up or suggest to them that they set up a Google Workspace. And that Google Workspace, they could have a calendar per person that they could set up that would be HIPAA compliant. And then you'd be able to see what appointments what appointments have been scheduled for your parents. And then you'd be able to say, okay, these are the times that I have available. And then they could also put notes in there, and the caregivers could put notes in that say, your mom and dad enjoyed watching Jeopardy, or don't give them chicken parmesan again because they didn't like it, that type of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
And so that may be just an idea for you to approach them with, and it wouldn't be difficult to set up. And I bet the other children or whoever is responsible for the other people in that facility, they would really appreciate that too. I know I would, wouldn't you? I mean, it'd be wonderful.
Yes.
To be able to do that. And, now, is there Wi-Fi here?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard me talk about the Amazon Echo Show?
Yes.
And so that may be something that you might want to put in your parents' room, so that this way, anytime that they need you, they can just say, Alexa, call Susan, or drop in on Susan, and then your app or your Amazon Echo Show will just pop up, and mom and dad will be right there. And accordingly, you can say drop in on mom and dad, and then their screen would just automatically light up. So this way you're not worried about them answering the phone, picking up the phone, whatever it may be. And it just gives you total peace of mind. I mean, I've been, like I said, I've been in this situation, and it really helped me to have that Echo Show so that at any given moment I could see what my mom was doing and vice versa. Because, it's all about peace of mind, really, and making sure that they are 100% comfortable in this facility and 100% getting the care level that you would give them at home. And if you need any help afterwards, Susan, just know I'm always here for you. Okay, imagine you're going on vacation. You have to pass through TSA to get to your gate. But as you are fumbling around to take off your belt, your shoes, put those electronics in a bin, you get targeted. The moment your gear moves onto the conveyor belt headed towards that X-ray machine, 2 people move past you in that screening area. Here's what happened next. The first person goes through security without a hitch. The second person has a belt on, something in his pocket that alerts the TSA agents, and it stops you from passing. So your laptop has gone through on the conveyor belt, and you know the deal. All right, you see it coming. It ends up in the hands of the first person, who then walks away with it. So that's why when you're traveling, always keep an eye on your expensive electronics. And in case it does ever go missing, whatever device you have, just turn on the Find My device, Find My, whatever it is. So this way you can actually pinpoint it. All right, still to come, we have more of your great phone calls, as well as how to record video on your phone in the event of an emergency. And of course, you have me, Kim Komando. If you're just missing me, I want you to make sure that you get all of me. What? What are you talking about? Wherever you get your podcast, just search for Kim Komando Today. That's our podcast we do live 3 times a week on YouTube. By the way, that's youtube.com/Kim Komando. And then we also have this other podcast that's going like crazy. It's called the Daily Tech Update. Every day you get one news story and you get one digital trick. And that's the Daily Tech Update. Each one's about 5 minutes and you're going to love it. So again, the Daily Tech Update and Kim Komando Today. All right. David in Sacramento, California. Glad to have you with us.
Well, I've got a lot of time on my hands because I retired, and I'm starting to digitize my photos so I can pass them on to my kids, whether they like it or not. And I've noticed that some of the pictures, quite a few of the pictures, have started to fade.
Sure.
And I'm trying to, it doesn't really seem to matter. Like I've got 2 photos from the same time, but it's different photo paper. And so I'm trying to bring back some of the vibrancy that is slowly disappearing. And I wanted to know if you had any recommended programs, because I know I could take them somewhere, but that would be a lot of money. So
Yeah.
I have a scanner.
Okay. Well,
and I have a computer.
And then you have a phone.
And I have a phone.
Okay. There's an app for your phone. We're going to start there. And it's called Google Photo Scan. What I love about Google Photo Scan is, aside from it's free, and we all like free. Free is good.
Yeah.
Is that it really does a tremendous job of being able to take a picture of a picture, and then it will enhance the picture.
That's cool.
And so what's also very nice about this is that when you want to take a picture of a picture in a photo frame, is that you don't have to take it out of the photo frame, right? And you don't have to take it out of the photo albums. Remember those?
Yeah.
So because sometimes when you try to take the photo out, kind of all rips apart.
Okay.
And so this allows you to take the photo of a photo without you necessarily having to scan it. Now, of course, you can take them out and you can scan them. That's not a big deal. And just keep in mind, you don't need to save that at 2400 DPI. Maybe, just 600 DPI is fine, especially if you're going to print it again. Because, it only sees 150 DPI on the screen anyway. So if you're just going to share them digitally, I probably wouldn't go higher than 300 just because there's no real use at this point for doing that. Now, if you have photos that are missing, say, I don't know, part of an arm, or it's just really bad, that's where you can start using AI. And AI will try to restore old photos. It will sharpen some blurry images. Like you said, make it more vibrant, enhance the colors, improve the photo quality significantly. There's a program called Remini. That's Remini, Remini.
Okay.
I've used it myself. It's actually pretty good. There's another one called Advanced AI Photo Restorer. It's really good at restoring faded colors and repairing damage to the photos. Like if it's been creased or if it's been scratched, basically you just upload the photo at any of these sites and then AI does the rest. They always give you a free trial membership or only so many photos, and after that you have to pay. And then there's a third one called MyHeritage. And MyHeritage is really good for, I'm talking about old degraded images. I mean, ones from the 1800s, the 1920s, portraits. And so if you have any of those, that's where you want to go. So, but this is a whole process. And then don't forget, you got to keep it organized, right?
Sure.
Because that's where a lot of people, they just scan. And when you scan it, it's like image 1, 2, 3, image 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2. And you're like, okay, who is who? So, I have found that when tasked with this with my mom, is that I actually did it was this generation of the Williams family, so to speak. And then these were the folks in New York. These are the folks in Long Island or wherever they were, Massachusetts. And so that allowed that. And then afterwards, I put together a YouTube video, almost like I put together a slideshow and then saved it as a private video up on YouTube, and then shared that with all my family members and friends, which was actually kind of fun because then people started commenting and doing things like that. But I'm glad you said that you have a lot of time, okay? Because It does take a lot of time. And, so as you're scanning, keep them in Google Photos, if you're because you're on Android. And if you're on iPhone, then you want to keep it in Apple Photos. And so that this way, over time, you can also do some facial recognition. So you can say, these are all the pictures of Aunt May. These are all the pictures of Uncle Max. And then it will go through and then say, oh, Aunt May's here. Is this Aunt May? Or is this Uncle Max? And so it'll start learning as well, which makes it really easy to start organizing it.
Okay. So now I have an iPhone. So is that, I still use that Google?
Well, you could use Google Photos you can still use Google Photo Scan. Absolutely. Okay. And you can also still use Google Photos. You can put it on iPhotos if you want as well. I actually have that set up because I'm on an iPhone as well, that I have it set up with Google Photos that my iPhone photos are actually also available to me on Google Photos. And why do I do that? Because I've been around tech for a really long time. And, it's like, I just don't want to lose anything. I'm kind of really paranoid about that whole thing in my life. So I try to have as many backups as possible. So again, Google Photo Scan, and then Remini, look at that Vance AI Photo Restorer, and then also MyHeritage. And David, thank you for your call. Now, if you just missed all that, I'm going to write this up maybe as a tip inside of our newsletter. So if you're not already getting our newsletter called The Current, you're just going to dig it. Head over to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com to sign up. There are things with your devices that you need to do, and you need to just set it up. And you need to do it on your phone and on your loved one's phones. First of all, talking about medical IDs. If you haven't done that, haven't set that up, let's say that you can't speak for yourself, but your phone's sitting there. Emergency services can actually open your phone and look at any type of medication that you're taking. Okay, this is a digital trick that I hope that you never, ever have to use. How to record video on your phone fast in situations like maybe you're in some type of altercation, or you're in danger, or you've been pulled over by the police. First, let's talk about how to record video on an iPhone in an emergency. Okay, when the screen is locked on your iPhone, press the power button on the side. You don't need to open your phone. A lot of people think that you need to do that. Just press the camera button on the lower right for about 2 seconds. Press and hold the shutter button, and that's the magic. Photo mode will instantly turn into video mode, and a video starts recording. Okay, you should try this. Just try it to see if you can do it. This way you know how to do it in the event of emergency. Now, there are so many different Android phones. I can't give you these slam dunk steps that are going to work for everyone. Generally, you're going to double tap that power button to bring up the camera app, then press and hold on the shutter button, just like on an iPhone, to take a video. So double tap on that power button and press and hold. And don't forget to enter to win that iPhone at winfromkim.com.